Hi everyone, Sneemaster here with a review of the new Drake Clipper. The Clipper is a multi-purpose exploration ship released for the IAE 2955 event. The ship could be considered just beyond a starter ship with more features than a starter ship would have. It's a strangely designed ship with large uneven extending wings and 3 floors, but in a skinny hull, so it has a unique silhouette. With wings extended, it's 50 meters wide, 26.5 meters long, and 13 meters high. For the interior review, we'll start on the upper floor. The Clipper is designed for a crew of 1. The cockpit is on the top floor of the ship, in the front, and has 1 pilot seat. It has excellent views above and to the sides, and even a bit below you, although you cannot see behind the ship in any way. There are 3 MFDs in the cockpit, plus some various dashboard devices. Behind the chair are some component access points. There are 2 jump seats for passengers behind the pilot seat, which you can open or close, and there is a stairwell that leads to the floor below. Behind the cockpit is a door to the living quarters. In the living quarters there is a bed for logging out. Next to the bed is a small bathroom with combination shower, toilet, and sink. On the opposite side of this room is a locker for gear stowage of 650K micro-SCU. Next to that is a small table with a pull-out bench to sit on. To the right of the table is a small pantry and sink. It looks like a mini kitchen, but we'll have to see how it works in the future. Behind this room is the engineering section with more component access on the walls. There is a lever here that opens a door to the floor below so you can move components between floors. There is an engineering computer terminal here for managing the ship systems. If you take the ladder down from the cockpit, it ends up in the elevator room. Here, there's a small crew elevator that leads to the ground level. It has a suit locker and gun racks for 2 medium guns and 4 small guns. After this room is the crafting room. CIG put in a crafting table here, although there is no word exactly of what we'll be able to craft yet. It seems to be designed for small ship components and personal gear, but we'll have to see in the end. The crafting table doesn't work yet as of patch 4.4. Behind this room is a medical room with a tier 3 medical bed and a medical computer. You can use this to heal yourself of small injuries or set a respawn location for your ship. It'll only be a short range respawn, so don't get too far away from your ship. You can even restore food and hydration levels on the bed. There is also a sink for cleanup and more storage for up to 1350K micro-SCU, which is quite a bit. In the back of the ship there is a ladder leading down to the cargo room. There's nothing here in this room aside from the cargo grid and the ramp that leads to the ground. That's it for the inside. For ship systems, the Clipper is considered a small ship, so it has 2 size 1 shields, civilian grade D. I recommend upgrading them urgently as the Clipper is not the most armored ship. Its hull and armor is a little tougher than ships like the Intrepid or Nomad, but just a tad weaker than the Cutlass, so be careful in combat. The Clipper has 1 size 1 cooler and 2 size 1 power plants, all civilian grade D. So watch out when using power-hungry weapons, shields, or quantum drives. You could lose power or overheat. I recommend upgrading those components quickly. There's also a size 1 radar, civilian grade A, so it's pretty decent for a size 1 radar, but not as powerful as size 2 radars on the Cutlass Black or Cutter Scout. There is a size 1 quantum drive, civilian grade D. It's got a slower quantum speed but more efficient quantum range than other ships like the Intrepid or Cutlass Black. The Clipper has larger fuel tanks than small ships, but not as much as ships like the Intrepid or Cutlass. There's 15 SCU of hydrogen fuel and 1.7 SCU of quantum fuel, so the Clipper may take longer to get where you're going at quantum speed, but it should give you decent range. For SCM speed, it can fly at 205 meters a second and nav speed at 1000 meters a second, which is better SCM speed than the Drake Cutter, but not as fast as many other similar ships. Nav speed is also quite low. Maneuverability is better than a Drake Cutter, but a little slower than ships like the Cutlass, Nomad, or Intrepid. It can somewhat keep up with small ships, but it won't fly circles against anything but large cargo ships. The cargo room has space for up to 12 SCU, but only in sizes of 1 or 2 SCU containers only. This cargo capacity puts it above any of the smaller ships like the Aurora, Avenger Titan, Intrepid, or Cutter, but sometimes placing cargo in the cargo bay can be a tight squeeze. You can fit small hover bikes in the cargo section, such as the Pulse, X1 series, or Nox, but larger hover bikes can only fit on the ramp itself, and even then it's difficult. Some won't even fit. For ground vehicles, you can just barely fit a Greycat PTV on the ramp, but other ground vehicles are either too wide or too tall to fit. Even ATLS mechs are too tall to fit in there unless you can lay them flat with a tractor beam first. But this is a problem compared to even Drake Cutter ships that have a little more space for hover bikes and small ground vehicles. For combat, the Corsair has 4 gimbal size 3 guns, 2 under the nose and 2 on the base of the wings, 2 ballistic Gatling guns and 2 laser cannons. The damage is pretty good compared to similar sized ships, but with 2 cannons and 2 Gatlings, the guns fire slightly unevenly when in combat. I recommend changing the guns to 4 evenly firing guns, but just watch your power output and cooling if you do. The guns can take out lighter ships fairly quickly, especially if you match them up right, but you'll struggle against larger ships unless you use 4 cannons. On the wings are 8 size 3 missile hardpoints. You can change each of them out to put either single size 3 missiles, 2 size 2 missiles, or up to 4 size 1 missiles on each hardpoint. So you can get up to 32 size 1 missiles, 16 size 2 missiles, or 8 size 3 missiles, or any combination in between, which is not bad for a light exploration ship. You can definitely use the ship to spam missiles against targets, just don't let your wings get damaged or fall off or you might lose your missiles. Price-wise, the Drake Clipper is not a cheap ship. It's going for $150 on the website, or $135 in Warbond for the IAE show, which is more expensive than a Drake Cutlass Black. It's not available to buy in-game yet, but should be available in a future patch. The Clipper defaults to dark gray paint with the words Clipper on the side. There are other paints you can get though, such as the yellow and gray Apis paint, the blue and gray Cerulean paint, only for concierge members, the red and gray Firewall paint, the green and khaki Camouflage Holt paint, and finally the white and gray Regatta paint, which is limited to the IAE 2955 event, so don't miss it. The Clipper has an amazing look. It's a blocky shape with large engines and wings, makes it look very Star Wars-like. The ship has a mix between the Drake Cutter and Drake Corsair. The hull looks like a cutter and the wings are Corsair-like. Honestly, I really like the design of the ship, especially with some of the paints that were released, but the interior is a little cramped. The Clipper also has a bare-bones look of other Drake ships. No fancy floors, beds, or walls. And a toilet not much better than an outhouse, but the design grows on you and it's very utilitarian. Now, the Drake Clipper is considered a one-person ship. It's designed for a single crew person, but with the engineering, crafting, and medical bays, plus the extra seats, you could have 2 or 3 people working on this ship. That makes it potentially a multi-crew ship as needed. You can also use the ship for all sorts of purposes. The medical bay makes the ship great for exploration or rescuing other players. You can heal yourself or others in the bed, or use it as a respawn location in case you die. The ship can be a great ambulance with the long-range engines and medbed. Putting a small hover bike in the cargo bay helps with overland travel for exploration or looting. The radar is only size 1, but it's a grade A, so about the best you can get for scanning in a smaller ship. Law enforcement and bounty hunters could use the ship to catch criminals or take out bounties in underground facilities, and then heal up in the medbay after combat. Pirates could also attack small targets with this ship, store loot in the cargo bay, and then salvage, upgrade, or repair components in the future with the crafting room. The Clipper could also be used to help repair or build components in the future for players with small stranded ships using the crafting table. If some player's ship gets damaged out in the middle of nowhere and can't take off, they could hire the owner of the Clipper to fly there and repair or replace components. The crafting table will also be able to build FPS components for infantry, possibly armor pieces or weaponry. This could allow the player to sell custom items for players, flying to various markets and making a whole career out of it. We'll find out most likely in 2026 when crafting is supposed to be implemented, hopefully. Players can use the Clipper for small cargo hauling missions, especially long-range missions that pay more money. The efficient quantum drive lets you fly in quantum travel for quite a distance before refueling, saving money on fuel, but it won't be very fast. The cargo bay is a bit small compared to ships like the Nomad or Cutlass Black, but still better than all the other starter ships. It can be a tight squeeze to move cargo boxes around though, and worse for hover bikes, but it is feasible. Just don't take cargo missions that require 4 SCU containers or larger. The Clipper can also work well as a small gunship. It can easily destroy ground targets with the 4 size 3 guns and the swarms of missiles, as long as the targets can't shoot back very well. The weak shields and armor on the Clipper makes it delicate against dedicated turrets and anti-aircraft vehicles though, so be careful. The Clipper can also function as a small player dropship. It can clear small drop zones with the guns, and it has 2 jump seats behind the cockpit, plus a bench seat, so a few players could be ferried to their targets as needed, even giving medical support on extraction. You could use the Clipper as a blockade runner or smuggler, taking advantage of the cargo bay and long-range drive, but you may want to use stealth components to not get detected, as the ship is not super fast or very tough. The ship is also just great at simply flying around and touring locations. It has decent speed, long range, and it flies smoothly, not too slow or ungainly. It's a fun ship to fly, plus the extra seats will be useful for passenger transport. One big drawback for the Clipper is combat. It's much larger than light fighters or medium fighters with a large hull and wings, but has less shielding or armor than other medium ships, so it can get damaged pretty easily. It has decent combat speed and maneuverability, but not enough to beat actual light or medium fighters flown by a decent player. So other fighters with a good pilot could get behind the Clipper and do a lot of damage. The large wings can also be damaged by collisions or weapons fire, so be cautious when flying the ship. There are no size 4 guns on the ship either, so you may struggle to damage heavier armored or shielded ships with only size 3 guns and missiles. On the other hand, the Clipper is pretty decent in combat against light or medium non-combat ships with those guns and missiles. With a bit of surprise, you can even take down a few fighters too, especially NPC ships. Switching your ship components to stealth versions could help you pop up against targets before they can detect you, especially if you swarm them with lots of size 1 and 2 missiles. Another drawback is the 2 sets of guns have different speeds, so it makes them hard to hit a target when firing together. You can get around that by changing guns to all the same type. Use all cannons against heavy targets and repeaters against quicker ships. Another drawback is the small cargo bay. You can't hold larger than size 2 SU containers in it, and only the smallest hover bites fit in the ship safely. Although you could possibly shove a small vehicle like the PTV using a tractor beam gun. You can't even fit ATLS mechs on the ship, which many other cargo ships do, so you can't even do ground vehicle mining. Speaking of tractor beams, the ship doesn't have any ship tractor beams for loading cargo, so make sure to carry your own tractor beam gun. Finally, the crafting bench doesn't work yet. I don't know what patch crafting will be enabled, but hopefully patch 4.5. But that might be my copium kicking in though. It'll probably be later. Knowing all the pros and cons though, I have to say I really enjoy the Clipper. It's an odd looking ship, but great for various purposes, and you can't deny it feels very Drake. It is a bit expensive to buy on the website, and the cargo is small, but the ship should be cheaper to buy in-game later. It would be a great all-around ship for at least one player, and maybe a few friends. It's not the best combat ship, but it can hold its own, and for everything else it's very good. Alright, so that's it for the Drake Clipper review. I hope the video was useful. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. You can use my referral code if you decide to jump in as Star Citizen, and you get 5,000 extra in-game credits. And you save more if you get one of the starter packs on sale during the month. Here's a big thank you to my current patrons: Alana, Brandon, Vashwildheart, and ASOG88. Please check out my Patreon membership to help me make more videos. All patrons and members will have their names listed at the end of my videos and get access to my Discord channel. Patrons can join my Discord and request particular videos for me to make, so feel free to sign up and let me know what you'd like to see next. Okay, catch you all next time.